Hello, everyone. Welcome to this virtual session. In this session, we are going to chat about some of the standard operations for the treasurer role. First and foremost, the first thing you'll probably encounter is the chapter budget. The chapter budget is essential as it states our goals and what we're hoping to achieve from a financial perspective within our chapter for the year. Chapters are required to complete an annual operating budget. This will be due by August 1st and should be entered in QuickBooks. If you would like to let us know that it's been entered, you can certainly do that. However, there is no requirement tied to the chapter budget. Some key elements of the budget are the revenue budget, program and operating expenses, and then contributions to chapter equity, all of which you can find some more detail and some templates in the Financial Management Tax Guide, which is available in the chapter resources for you. Next thing we're going to chat about is the financial statements for the board. The chapter's board of directors should be kept current on all financial dealings of the chapter. It's important as the treasurer that you keep them informed and that we provide a financial package to them at least monthly. Within that financial package should include the statement of financial position, statement of cash flow, and then your statement of revenue and expenses. Okay, the next thing we're going to chat about is a certificate of insurance. So you may ask yourself, what is a certificate of insurance or why would I need one? So typically these are required by venues. It provides them with details regarding the coverage and limits of our insurance policies. So you would typically need to provide one. You can find details in the contract for your venues, or you can check with your venue contact and they should be able to let you know if one is required. We ask that all requests be submitted a minimum of 14 days before the certificate is needed. You can send those directly to accounting@hfma.org. It typically takes our broker about 48 hours to turn those around, but we do like to give them some time if they are in a high volume period. So what information is needed to request a certificate of insurance? So here we've put together a little list of what you can fill out. There's also a form within the chapter resources that you can fill out and return to accounting@hfma.org. So some main things here, just the date you need it by, the name of your chapter, the name of your event. A lot of venues will require specific limits or specific coverages. We ask that you include that as well. And then also who the certificate should be sent to. If you like it to sent back to yourself, we can certainly do that. If you want us to send it directly to the venue, we can do that as well. All right, so changing gears again, now we're going to chat a little bit about 1099 reporting. So 1099s are typically required at the end of the year. So we're going to spend some time here to understand what the Form 1099 miscellaneous is, determine who receives it, and to identify the process for creating and mailing your 1099 forms for the calendar year. All right, so a little bit of background on the 1099. So who must get one? One notable use of Form 1099 is that it reports amounts of at least $600 issued in a calendar year to any person or business that is not a corporation. Okay? Examples of this include services performed by a non-employee, prizes and awards, payments to attorneys, and other income payments. This is a following list of some exceptions. Typically, these types of entities do not receive a 1099. If you are ever unsure, please refer to the W-9 that you collect before paying any vendor, and you would be able to see how they are set up from a tax perspective. Okay, below are some deadlines pertaining to the 1099s. As you'll note below, 1099s must be received by your recipients by January 31st. And then if you are submitting by mail, the red copies must be submitted to the IRS by February 28th. However, if you are filing electronically, I believe most of us file by mail, but if you are filing electronically, those copies, that must be submitted to the IRS by March 31st. Okay, so here's some information that you'll need to populate your 1099 forms. First and foremost is your chapter's federal tax ID number, the chapter's name. For the business address, you could actually put the corporate address of HFMA, which is 3 Westbrook Corporate Center, Suite 600, Westchester, Illinois, 60154. You will also need the recipient's tax ID or social security number. Again, that's information that can be found on their W-9 form. And then box 7 is where you would put the 1099 miscellaneous compensation paid for a non-employee. Okay. So just a few other items to consider. Make sure you're using the current year's forms. You know, typically you may have some forms left over from last year. You want to be sure that the year that is stated in the top right, I believe it's either the top right or top left corner, reflects the year that you are submitting for. Just note that there are 2 copies. Copy A, which would be the red copy, goes to the IRS, and copy B, they're actually gray copies, and they're actually half of the sheet. Those are what you're submitting to your 1099 vendors so that they can use for their tax reporting purposes. Then there is also the Form 1096, which is submitted to the IRS as well. The 1096 basically tells the IRS who you are, what type of 1099s you're submitting, and how many for your organization.